Hey, this is a video to show you what needs to be included in your Unit 4 Earthquake ISN check. On page 6 should be a completed cover. Page 7, a completed table of contents. On page 8 is your earthquake vocabulary with all definitions and illustrations completed. On page 9 is the boundary, plate movement, stress, and type of fault chart, and where we drew the different types of faults. On page 10 is your 5-1 Forces and Earth Crust notes. If you are missing these notes, they are attached in the locker. On page 11 is Forces and Earth Crust worksheet, and behind that a warm-up from January 16th. On page 12 is Bill Nye Earthquakes. And page 13, our activity Evidence of Movement Along the Fault. There is no warm-up behind this sheet. On page 14 is our Fieldwork in Nepal lab. Page 15 is our warm-ups from January 22nd and January 26th, where we wrote our goals and reflected on first semester. On page 16 is our 5-2 notes. Again, all notes are in the locker if you're missing any of the blanks. On page 17 is your Earthquake Wave Lab, where we use the compasses to find the epicenter of the earthquake. Page 18 is your 5-3 notes on monitoring earthquakes. Page 19, our warm-up from January 28th. And also we taped the handout Research and Earthquake, where you put your draft of the things you found out about your earthquake. On page 20 is your virtual earthquake. Please make sure that every single table and every single blank has questions filled out. There should not be any blanks for this if you've completed the virtual earthquake activity. Having the virtual earthquake certificate is optional for this activity. Page 21 is the warm-up from the 30th on rules for finding the epicenter of an earthquake, and then the analysis questions on the researcher earthquake activity. On page 22 is our 5-4 notes, earthquake safety, and lastly, here on page 23, we have the San Andreas fault text that we read and underlined parts, and across from that on page 24 is the San Andreas Fault Lab. The last thing you should have taped in is on page 25, which is your study guide. So this completes the ISN video. Again, if you're missing anything, please check the daily agendas or the locker.